So we're going to come from the book of Micah. Micah, like most of the Old Testament prophets, stood and looked out into the future. Micah was looking at what was about to be a cataclysmic shift in the normal order of Israel. Micah comes before Jeremiah and Ezekiel and Daniel, but in many ways it's Micah, if you read the book carefully, who begins to actually give Israel its great warning and Judah its great warning as to what is going to happen and why. Micah is a poor prophet. He comes from a farmland, a small town. He's not a very complicated guy. He's a no-nonsense type of prophet who calls it like it is. And because of that, he goes through some things and he writes his book to match. He could see the end of the earthly kingdom of Israel. He warns the people of the conditions that they are in. But as you look carefully at this book, one of the things you come away with is that Micah is not simply writing to the Judah of his day. He's not simply writing to the Israel of his day. I want to submit to you as we go into this study that Micah is writing to us. And I will show you that as we unpack this thing, not only is Micah writing to the last generation that will be on earth, Micah is also warning us of what is to come while he is preparing us to stand strong. This is a book most pass over and pick up maybe 2 verses out of. I want to submit to you tonight that when we major in minor prophets, we often get major lessons. Verse 8 is one of those passages. You can't understand this verse in a vacuum. You need context to understand the text. So I want to start at Micah 7 and verse 1. And I want to read what it is that Micah's talking about. I want to set the stage, and then I'm going to go through and show you how the parallels from what Micah's talking about then to our day today. Micah 7 and verse 1 says, "Woe is me. As this woe is given, it is because among the people of God, none of the righteous are left." Verse 2, "The good man is perished out of the earth." Listen to what he says here. "And there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net." Does that sound familiar? Verse 3, "That they may do evil with both hands earnestly." Micah says, and remember, to be clear, Micah did not write this book to the pagan nations. He wrote this to the church of his day. The warning to the people of God is, listen, if you are one of those left after this harvest has taken place, after the fruit of righteous, those that are of the remnant have been stripped from the vineyard, if you are one of them, you best not trust a soul, not even the one lying on your bosom. Folk are going to turn on those who have decided to live for God. I want to submit to you that we will not simply, and are not, the truth is, this is why it says we're already going through it, we will not simply go through a shaking. It is more than that. We will go through a process where some who we thought were our friends will become our enemies. Amen. And the reason that that is so powerful is because if your faith is not properly anchored in God, you will not be able to stand. Because there's nothing quite like the ridicule of those who once stood for you. So Micah says it like this, because Micah experienced this. He went through this with some of the false prophets, just like Jeremiah did. Micah 7, verse 7 says, "Therefore I will look unto the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me." Micah's point, before we get to the main verse that we're going to discuss, Micah's point is, you cannot trust people.